I am Vivek Wadhwa. I'm an educator, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a writer, I do a lot of different things. I'm glad to meet you folks.
We're very glad to meet you too, Vivek. Hi, Vivek. My name's Steve Liebeszek. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Azius. Prior to that, I was CEO and co-founder of Polara Golf, and we made a disruptive sports technology product. My name is Stephen Ambrose. I'm founder and president of Azius Technologies, and I am the inventor of the wireless in-ear stage monitors that you see people wearing on American Idol and on stage. I did that with Stevie Wonder back in the 70s, and this was the forerunner of what became the Sony Walkman and the Apple iPod. Our discoveries with our company are that when you seal a speaker in the ear canal, it acts like a piston in a bicycle pump and impinges 1,000 times more pressure on the eardrum than anyone ever imagined. And I filmed this with my own ear, and this is an otoscope with an Apple iPod earbud. And if you look closely, you can see this beating like a bass drum. And it is the bass drum in rock and roll that is causing this to move way too far. And this has a tendency to make the music sound mushy and hold the speaker still with the eardrum, which is very counterintuitive, and also triggers the acoustic reflex where the muscles in the ear try and hold the eardrum still. This is acoustic waves, and these are pneumatic waves, and these are contained and these are dispersed easily. So there's 1,000 times more pressure here. So we fixed this by inventing a second eardrum, and that is more compliant than your own eardrum and more sensitive. So the pressures beat up our second eardrum instead of yours. And this is a depiction of an earbud without our technology and an earbud with our technology. And it doesn't get between the speaker and the eardrum, so it doesn't muffle the sound. Here's a skull candy that we tested at Vanderbilt with this technology on it. And it simply goes in the ear just like a normal earbud, but lower volumes, radically lower volumes, sound much louder. At Vanderbilt, we showed that you could listen at 1/4 to 1/16 the power levels. This is the answer to Mayor Bloomberg's call to end hearing loss with earbuds. Telling people to turn down doesn't work because no one realized why they turn up too loud in the first place. We've harvested these harmful pressures, and we use that to inflate a membrane in the ear. This is our inflatable Ambrose diaphonic ear lens, and one size fits all, and it holds on like a cloud. And here we've affixed this to a hearing aid that we tested at Vanderbilt in the summer, and it seals perfectly, and you can deflate it and hear your surrounding environment. So this actually is not only a hearing aid, but a wireless in-ear monitor. It's the first time hearing aids have been risen to the point where they're good enough to use on stage and in the studio. So that's Azius Technologies, and that's what we do, sir.
Now, what you've done seems, amazing. I mean, I'm really, really impressed with it, and I'd love to try it. My worry is, what if it ends up doing some damage to your ears because you're putting it in, and if you use existing devices and the volume is too high, what if it damages your eardrums? What are the liability consequences of this?
Certainly. Well, there are an inherent liability problems, even if you don't do any damage, if someone perceives that you might, okay? But the fact of the matter is that shoving a conventional ear tip like this one in your ear without our technology actually moves the eardrum way too far in the first place. And our technology adds these tiny little eardrums that absorb this pneumatic pressure. So there is less legal risk with our technology. Now, the bubbles, when they inflate, people sometimes might wonder, well, if you're harnessing sound to inflate it, can it inflate and explode in your ear canal? And this is like having a Volkswagen win the Grand Prix. It's orders of magnitude different in power levels. So it is tremendously safe and safer than conventional methods that are now being used.
Well, my worry again is the liability, but would the FDA consider this a medical device by any chance? Is there an issue that it sort
The
of
interest,
require testing?
The interesting aspect is in all our testing at Vanderbilt with Dr. Todd Ricketts at the Bill Wilkerson Center, ear tips and ear molds are not required to have FDA approval, whereas hearing aids are. And the hearing aid that I showed you was the first in-ear monitor, which is also a hearing aid and has FDA approval. So ear tips, our balloons don't require FDA approval, but if they did, what we show is that the pressure of a conventional ear mold or ear tip in the ear is 1,000 times greater than this gossamer bubble that when you move your jaw, moves concentrically with it. I have one in my ear now, and you can see that it's very, very soft, and it's much softer than any ear mold or ear tip. And when you move your jaw, your ear canal flexes and mashes your ear canal against the ear tip, whereas this just moves with your ear canal and also
Right.
doesn't impinge pressure on your tympanic membrane.
My impression is that you built some great technology here. Now, the challenge with great technology is getting great distribution. What are your plans for now getting this out there? Do you plan to build your own earphones? Do you plan to now discuss with manufacturers? How are you going to get the world to know about this?
Well, we have here our first Kickstarter offering this summer, okay? And this is in the vein of the original in-ear monitors that I invented back in the 70s that were made out of silver and plated with gold. And that metal actually had more mass to it, so the speaker didn't lose its energy rattling a plastic case. It held it still, so the speaker did a more efficient job of making energy as sound. This has a cord that can go off at any angle, and this tip can become a bubble in the ear. So that's our first consumer product. And of course, we're doing also custom in-ear stage monitors, which I invented back in the 70s and toured with Simon Garfunkel and Diana Ross and Stevie for 10 years, and many hundreds of bands. So
A
our
Kickstarter
mission.
is a good way of selling a few thousand devices. It still isn't a distribution strategy. When I visited your website, my impression was, uh-oh, this is a bunch of great scientists who totally lack the Silicon Valley adequate. What I'm used to seeing in Silicon Valley is great websites, amazing design, and no substance. Here, all I see is substance. I see science. I see, breakthroughs, and no elegance whatsoever. I mean, literally, your website looks like it's out of the 1990s. And my impression right now is that you have to round your management team out by getting some young marketing folks from Silicon Valley and be part of the ecosystem over here. Come to conferences, have people try it out here, create the excitement, and then form your team. So what's missing right now is the young hip connection.
We couldn't agree more. We are funded by the National Science Foundation and the National Institutes of Health, and those funds are okay to use for certain things and not okay to use for other things. So we'd love to, take you up on that and, dress our website up as well as our media presence. And all those guys that you're talking about listen to the personal listening devices I invented in the first place, and those have a 70% increased risk of hearing loss. So we have technology that they need just personally, and we'd love to do business with it.
Well, bottom line is I'm very impressed with what you've done. Great substance, great potential, great future. Let's now figure out how to get this marketed. So what you need to do is come to Silicon Valley here, build some prototypes, come to some of the conferences over here, get some of these young kids over here and the venture capitalists to try it out, be excited about it. They'll help you form your management team. They'll help you fund this thing. They'll help you take it to the next level. This is where the magic happens for slick devices like that. There's no other ecosystem where you have all the support mechanisms you need to take something of substance and turn it into reality and mass distribute it. So whenever you're ready, come over and meet me, and I'll be glad to help you.
Okay, I'll be there in about 5 minutes.
All right, you got it. And I want to get one of these for myself, by the way. So that's my cut of the action over here. I want one of these.
Well, we're
I
currently
love what
going
you do.
for Kimball Musk, and you're next in line. So first is another one for Stevie Wonder, and then Kimball, and then yourself. Okay.
Great. My thumbs up.
Thank you so much, Vivek. It's very kind of you to spend your time. We're happy to meet you. And Mr. Libacek, he's the power that makes all of this happen. I'm just the singer-songwriter. He's the rest of the band. Do you have anything to say in closing?
Uh, I guess as far as the support that we'd like to take advantage of is that network that you do have that spans at least 2 continents, it looks like, plus the academic and practical experience that you have. And if you just keep endorsing us like you have been within the Wall Street Journal program, I think.
I'll make you another offer. Singularity University, we have an incubator. We have where we bring in all of these world-changing technologies, and we offer them office space and we offer them networks. I can get our team to make you a Singularity University company. We're not like the other accelerators where they want ownership in you and they put in any financial burdens. It's really part of being part of our ecosystem and a tiny little. I mean, we can work out something by which you're part of the family and you have access to a much larger network through what we have here. It's right at the heart of Singularity University on the NASA campus. So when you're ready, come over and I'll make you part of that, and we'll get you introduced to the local who's who.
You're very kind. We're delighted and honored. Thank you, Vivek.